actually going to wait until I watched all 3 episodes, but I just finished episode 1 of Bel-Air, and I was just like, I gotta get on camera right now and talk about this because I really like this show. What's going on, everybody, my YouTube subscribers? I hope everyone's having a great Super Bowl weekend. There's so much coming out this week, but starting off today on Super Bowl Sunday, we got the premiere of Peacock's newest show, Bel-Air. You don't know what that's about? Pretty much a retelling of the classic 90s Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with starring Will Smith. Episode 1 through 3 just debuted today on Peacock, and I just watched the first episode. Like I said, this is really good. I like it a lot. So much to unpack in this. So like I said, first things first, I am a huge Fresh Prince of Bel-Air fan. And you know I love that shit. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the Blake on the board, spend most of my days. You know how it goes. So when I heard that they were going to do a remake, a retelling, a more serious take on the sitcom, I was kind of like, let's see where this goes. I'm interested. Saw a trailer for it and I was like, this is interesting, but let's see where it goes. I just watched episode 1 and I'm like, I love it. Get into it and break down my thoughts on episode 1 of Bel-Air. It just debuted today on Peacock. I'm gonna watch episode 1 and 2 later today, so you get videos for those later today too. Let's get into it. Episode 1 of Bel-Air. Here it goes. First of all, episode opens up and establishes that we got our man Will Smith. Is his name Will Smith? They just call him Will, but we got Will, who's played by Jabari Banks. I like this kid. First, I was kind of just like, the more he got into it, the more I'm just like, I see young Will Smith in there, but also like a modern take. If like Will Smith, if this show did come out in 2022, I feel like it would be just like, it would be a drama. This is what it would be like. He does a really good job. Like I said, he does look like young Will Smith in parts and everything like that. And he does act like young Will Smith from season 1. Jabari, he was awesome. He did great. I like him. He's good. Yeah, him and his friend Trey, which is, it's awesome. Because if you are, like I said, if you are a fan of Fresh Prince, it is good to see those characters that may appear like in 1 or 2 episodes, stuff like that. You get to see him now again in this episode 1. I was like, oh, that's Trey, my man Trey. I remember him. But pretty much we established that Will Smith, you know, he's upcoming, you know, basketball star, does great in school. He's really likable. Everybody in Philadelphia loves the kid until it's like this asshole, I think his name was Darnell, an asshole named Darnell. What are the odds? Asshole Darnell pretty much challenges him like, yeah, okay, you know, yeah, I run this city and shit. You want to, you know, get big with me? Meet me on the basketball court at night at Philadelphia. Nothing bad's gonna happen, right? So being the young, dumb kid that he is, Will challenges Darnell to a basketball fight, a basketball game. This other dealer, well, I don't know if it's drug dealer, but this other dude, the guy who I guess got hit in the head with the basketball, you know, in the opening credits from the original series, he bets $2,000 like, okay, yeah, you and Darnell, y'all two, you know, play the basketball. If you win, you get 2 G's. If you lose, you work for me and shit. So Will, being the cocky dude he is, challenges doing basketball game, but he wins. But if you're gonna be cocky, back it up and win. He wins. I was straight for him. Until shit goes sour because asshole Darnell throws the basketball at my man Rashad. That's his name. I think his name Rashad. Threw it at his head and he starts snapping out and they start beating up on Trey, and Will gets the gun that Trey had, shoots it in the air, and now it's just like, okay, yeah, he's in deep shit now. You can tell that this dude is like, oh, you know what, when I get out of jail, you are dead. Pretty much the next day, him and his mom pretty much just drives him straight from jail to the LA airport and he's off to Bel-Air. Also, props to his mom. I like the relationship between Will and his mom. It's actually really good. Like I said, being a black guy as I am, I don't say you gotta be black to enjoy the show. I'm just saying, if you are black, you know, if you grew up in the neighborhood that Will grew up in, you get more related to this shit, and I have. And that's why I like it a lot. They fly him out to Bel-Air. He meets Jazz. At first I was like, Jazz, I'm glad that they're not like immediate friends like it seems like it was in the original series. It's like, oh yeah, him and Jazz, best friends to the end, since the beginning. It made sense in the 90s because Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith, they worked together in songs and shit. But this one I was just like, okay, I'm glad that it's just like, Will is just like, yeah, you're just a taxi driver and shit, but you know, it's still cool, you know? Still wait from do the iconic, you know, still waiting for that, so that'll be dope. We get introduced into the Banks family, stuff like that, and we meet Aunt Viv, who I like a lot too. Like I said, the more this episode going on, I'm like, I'm really liking these characters because again, they're relatable, and I feel like this is definitely a show with a lot of black cast, written and directed by black people who know how black people would act in these type of situations. They're not just being they're not just black for the sake of being black. It's just that, yeah, they happen to be black and they act like how a normal black family would act, and I like that. Aunt Viv is really warm, she's relatable because she's from Philadelphia too, so it's just like, yeah, I understand, you know, welcome. It's hard to adjust, but you got to adapt, Will. So it's like, I'm glad that him and Will and Aunt Viv do have that growing relationship that he can confide in her. Then we meet Hillary Banks, who at first I was like, oh, she's dark skinned now. I'm used to Hillary being light skinned, but she was still good. I like her too. She now, it's like I said, it's 2022 now. She's got to be a social media YouTuber and shit, of course. She can cook. I don't think the Hillary and the original series could cook, so there's that. Got Ashley Banks on the scene. I liked Ashley was one of the first people I saw. I was like, oh yeah, Ashley, she's cool. I like her. We meet Carlton, who I swear to God, I think that's like Don Cheadle's like clone or something, because he looks just like Carlton's still an asshole. So I was just like, well, again, it was a comedy in the '90s, so we couldn't go full asshole. This one, he's like full asshole. Like Carlton, come on, Carlton. Come on. Even meet Lisa in this. I was like, Lisa. When I first saw Lisa, I was like, you're like much older than Will. So, what? As the episode goes on, it's like, oh yeah, you know what? You're getting the hots for Will, and we all are getting the hots for Will. So shit, that worked out too. But the most important person we got in the middle of the scene is Philip Banks, who's being played by, what's his name? Give me a second. Adrian Holmes is playing Philip Banks, and one of those things at first, there's only one Philip Banks. I know there's only one Uncle Phil, the late James Avery. He will always be Uncle Phil forever. But I will say this new take on Uncle Phil, I did like a lot, because it's like he's got the patience and the spirit of Uncle Phil. But I feel like to play Uncle Phil, it's like you got to have that, like, you know, that stern father figure, you know, still have that patience to be like, I'm not gonna give up on this kid. And he plays that line really good. First I was thinking like, okay, Uncle Mob Boss is like, yeah, I'm just doing this just because you're my wife's nephew. But I feel like he does genuinely care about Will, and he's trying to reach him, because there's an underlying story, because there's a moment he says like, yeah, Viv, it's not just him in this house. We got 3 other kids too to worry about in the campaign, so it's like trying to find that balance. I do like that he is patient and giving Will a chance. I like that a lot. It works. We can't forget Jeffrey too. Still want him to sit one of those snarky remarks. I want to see at least that comedy element brought to the show. I hope then the episode more or less ends more or less with Will Carlton going to the party, and there's this white kid who says the word, you know the word. There's that a lot. Will ain't having that shit, and him and Carlton have a little battle of the minds. It's like, it's just a word, Will. Will's like, nah, man, you just don't understand. And you're black, you should understand it. When you see it, you'll be like, yeah, this is irrelevant shit, yeah. Then the episode ends with they're at the party, and then Will and Lisa are kissing, because Lisa's apparently Carlton's ex in this series. Carlton gets mad, he fucking pushes Will into the pool, and he has like some type of inception moment or something, and he gets saved. And then Will socks the white dude, and I'm just thinking like, Will, just walk away, just walk away. And then he socks Carlton. I was like, or don't, and the episode just ends. So I was like, let me get on camera real quick and just gush about Bel-Air, because I love this show. Episode 1 of Bel-Air and episode 2 and 3 are out on Peacock right now. If you like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, take a chance and watch this show. I'm gonna be covering this shit until the series is over, because I like it. Thoughts on Bel-Air, type below, let me know to talk about it. Enjoy Super Bowl weekend, guys. I'll see you guys in the next Bel-Air video, because I'm going to cover this shit, episode 1 and 2. I want to watch that right now. So, see you guys in a few. As always, subscribe. Until next time.